Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Snazzy Comments. This is episode 5 and it is coming about maybe 3 weeks after the 4th episode because I still don't really know which or when exactly I want to do this, how often I want to upload one of these, especially while the channel is pretty small. But at the moment, I'm sort of going with every 3 weeks. Now, today we actually have a lot to talk about. Quite a lot of exciting things, big changes coming to the channel as we approach September. There is hopefully great news on the way. The first thing being is that, fingers crossed, I'll be able to sort out my AdSense for YouTube, which means I can actually start making money. Even though the channel is monetized, I'm currently unable to link my AdSense to it. But apparently, I've been talking to many people about this, and trying to get the AI to give me the best answer on ChatGPT possible. Basically, in the start of September, I'll actually be able to link my own AdSense account to the YouTube and actually start taking in the money I've been earning. Because at the moment, I've actually been earning money on YouTube. Just no one's been able to claim it. So hopefully I can actually, reap what I sow with my earnings here. But it's not all about money. There are some interesting changes coming to the channel with the come of September. So basically, I'm going back to university for my final year, doing a master's degree, and that will mean I might have a bit more free time, or my own time, if you will, on the channel. So basically, I've paused things like doing live streams. I'm yet to do a live stream on this new channel, actually. And being at university means I have my independence, I don't have to be sociable, if you will, because it's a bit antisocial. I'm living at home during the summer with my family. It's kind of awkward to just set aside an afternoon doing a live stream, for example. Also, I'm still a bit sort of timid when it comes to the Wi-Fi. I am not trusting it. That was the reason I stopped doing the live streams for a while back on the old channel, was because the Wi-Fi was inconsistent and I kept having power cuts in my student house, so that was awful. And each time that you get a power cut, you have to restart the whole live stream and rebuild your audience. It was just terrible. Hopefully, the actual new place I'm living in September will have good, stable connection. I remember it from first year at university. It was good. It was very, very fast Wi-Fi, and, it's not like a university campus is going to have a power cut fairly often. Whereas my student house was a bit, a bit dodgy when it came to that. So live streams will be coming back. I'm not sure when exactly, or what day. What will be my new live stream day. I think I might make it Saturday rather than Friday games, because I have a part-time job on the Saturday and I don't really want to be live streaming then going to work the next day. I'd rather kind of just do it in one thing. I like to build my excitement with things, especially with the live streams. I like to do a live stream before then doing something else, if that makes sense. For example, if it was a Friday before I had the part-time job on the Saturday, you'd do the live stream. Nice. Then maybe I'd do something with my friends or with the server, like we might do a movie night, and then I'd go out for the evening. Building the excitement is one by one. So for Saturday, it would be going to work, not fun, but then I come home, do a live stream, fun, hopefully. It's a bit hit and miss when it comes to the games I have on a live stream. But you do that, and then let's see, then again, maybe I'll do another thing on the Discord server or with friends, and then I'd go out for the evening. It's a lot better. I prefer to scale my excitement with that, and the live stream is a nice build up for that sort of thing. And yes, you heard me correct, movie nights on the Discord server will be coming back again. It's something I've paused because it's just a bit awkward to do at home at the moment, because just watching a film, I don't have much to do with the Discord server while I'm at home, but I'll have a lot more to do with it when I'm, at university again, and where there will be a return to movie nights. So we'll be doing that usually on a Saturday, I imagine, which is probably a better day for most people than Friday. So that's good. And we'll have to see what films we do. At the moment, we were kind of sticking to war films with a couple of exceptions. I mean, it makes sense, like military stuff. The Discord, most of the Discord server members are interested in military things because they have come from games like War Thunder. So, makes sense that we mostly do war films. There's still many war films out there. I might rerun a couple of the war films we have done already, because I love rewatching movies, especially with people, especially if those people haven't seen them before. So, yeah, expect things like Battle of Britain to come around in September because it's just awesome. Really, really fun movie, and a very good movie as well. So that's good. And another thing I wanted to bring up, World of Tanks. World of Tanks has had a bit of news in the last week or so, and I'm actually really excited. World of Tanks 2.0 has been announced. It's not a new game. It's not a complete revamp of the game like World of Warplanes 2.0 was, which basically kind of just did the whole game again. World of Tanks 2.0 is basically, at least advertised as the biggest update in the game's history, or the most important update. First of all, Tier 11 has been announced. And as well as Tier 11, they're revamping a lot of vehicles in the game, like altering their stock configuration so they're not as painful to grind. They're changing the stats of a lot of vehicles, buffing a lot of the Tier 10s and Tier 9s and that sort of thing. Most of the tanks in the game have had their stats changed a little bit. And it's just really exciting. There's new maps, there's new game modes, there's new little things, there's a new garage, new interface, all that sort of stuff coming in the new update, which is also arriving early in September. And I've been this excited about World of Tanks. I haven't been this excited in quite a while. It is really interesting for me. And I'm so interested that, in fact, I want to give World of Tanks a go on the channel. I did make a couple old World of Tanks videos on the old channel, but they didn't really take off. And to be fair, I made most of them while the channel was still quite small. But seeing the success of World of Warplanes on this channel, I don't think I'm going to pump out too many World of Warplanes videos. I don't want to beat a dead horse with that respect. But seeing the success of those makes me think that World of Tanks has a chance. I mean, it's a more popular game anyway. You could argue it's dying, but a lot of people are thinking that this update 2.0 is actually going to revamp it a little bit. It's going to build up the hype. It's going to bring back old players and maybe bring in some new ones. And I'd love to feature a game besides War Thunder on this channel in a sort of main series light, rather than just do a one and done kind of video. I will probably make a War Thunder player tries World of Tanks. I have played World of Tanks a lot before, but I am still mostly a War Thunder player, so it might be interesting to hear what I think about it. But with the arrival of Update 2.0, expect World of Tanks content to be on the channel, because I think it would be nice. I think it could interest even the War Thunder players. I know there will be some slander going on, because there will be people that say, oh, this looks arcadey, oh, that tank never existed, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I know. I've played the game for 11 years at this point. So, yeah, but still, it would be interesting. I think it could be fun to see a new tank game on the channel, focused in quite a large majority. Now, what does this mean for the other videos on the channel? Don't worry, it's still going to be predominantly War Thunder based. I'm just saying, maybe once every week or every 2 weeks, I will make a World of Tanks video, if you guys are interested in it. So let me know down in the comments below if you guys do want to see some World of Tanks content on the channel. I really hope you say yes, because it would be nice. And it's quite fun. You can get some really dynamic games with World of Tanks and some really funny moments. So hopefully I can entice you guys to not necessarily give the game a chance yourself, but maybe if that's what you want, but maybe give it a chance on this channel at least. I think it would be really fun. So let me know what your thoughts on that would be. World of Tanks, as you can see, it's running in the background now. It's just a regular game I played. It's a fun game when it wants to be. It is worth giving a try. And at least, you know, I'm sure no one will complain about it being background footage in this Snazzy Comments video. In other news on the channel, before I actually get round to answering some of your comments, we've hit 3,000 subscribers finally. That's nice to hear. It's nice to see the channel growing so quickly. I mean, in comparison, I made this channel the end of June, I think. It was something like that. I think we started this channel either early July or end of June. I think it was sometime in July, actually. I don't actually know. Who knows? I think sometime early July. We'll say that. And we've already hit 3,000 subscribers in maybe just over 2 months, which is nice growth. Hopefully we can make even better progress in the future. I have some big videos planned. I maybe want to do some more mods videos, some top 10s, some top 5s, and yes, an iceberg video will be coming later in the year. I just want to make sure I have the AdSense linked, because I don't want to take my gambles with the big videos, especially if they are successful, if I then can't claim the rewards, because the channel is monetized. I just can't claim the money. So your guys are still seeing ads, but at the moment, the money isn't going to anyone. So I don't want to make a hugely successful video, assuming it will be successful, if I can't claim the money yet. So hopefully it will work out. But enough about that. We've hit 3,000 subscribers, so this calls for a celebration. I'm actually going to take a look at some of the channel analytics. mostly from the audience, because 3,000 of you are now subscribed. Obviously, this is a bit away from the old 21,000 that we had before, but I'm sure we'll build up to that at some point. We might even hit 10,000. I think I said I wanted to hit 10,000 before the end of the year. I mean, I think on my old channel, it took me 6-7 months, maybe more. I think it's got to be more, maybe 8 or 9 months to hit 3,000 subscribers. So the fact that we've done it in 2 is quite impressive. So pat yourselves on the back, guys. But as for a bit of information about you guys, because I can see all the analytics about, well, at least most of them. So let's take a look at what some of the stats of you guys are. Apparently, most of you guys are, unsurprisingly, male. 94.9% of my YouTube audience are males, which doesn't really surprise me. I mean, it's mostly military themed, which at the end of the day is seen, at least, as more of a guy thing. It's more of a boys channel. But 4.4% are female. I don't know any of them personally, not really. So, yeah, and another 0.7 is user specified. I don't even know if that totals 100%. Who knows? And yeah, it's nice to see that we have at least some variety. Obviously, I don't really know how I can dictate or control what sort of audiences will come into the channel. I mean, it's just whoever shows up, really. But we have a nice community, at least on the Discord, which is where I can get to know some of you a bit more. But I can also see the ages of the of my audience. So 7.4% are 13 to 17 years old. So fairly small. So I guess I'm not a big hit with the younger audience. I wasn't really trying to be, though. I was kind of just an everyman sort of YouTube channel. 18 to 24 years that make up 30%. So I fall into that age bracket myself. The biggest percentage, though, is actually for the late 20s to early 30s, so 25 to 34 years old, 37% of the audience. And skipping ahead, 1.3% of my audience are over 65, which I'd love to know what over 65-year-olds are watching my videos. If that's you, then comment, and thank you for watching. Also, other surprising stats, I didn't even know you could do this on YouTube. You could actually see what formats most of your subscribers watch by. Apparently, most of you actually watch my YouTubes on the TV rather than a computer or a phone or a tablet. Admittedly, it's quite close figures. TV, computer, and mobile phone are all in the 30s, in fact, the early 30s. But the TV is the most used device for watching my videos, so nice to see you like me on the big screen. So thanks for that. As for the computer, it's 31.3%, so only 0.3% lower on the computer. That's usually what I watch my videos on, but I do like YouTube on the TV. Apparently you can see more, so I don't know what other devices. Unknown. Apparently I've made it gives you an estimated revenue. I've made a whopping 3 pence on an unknown device, so that's interesting. I don't know if that's someone's DS that they're using. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know what time period that's over from, but yeah, most of my viewers use the TV, which is interesting. I'm learning things here. Maybe you guys are as well. And this is always interesting. The geographies, the top geographies. What audiences are biggest around the world? So unsurprisingly, my biggest audience is from the United States with 31.7%, but that's still relatively minor. I mean, for the biggest English-speaking country in the world, I mean, I don't record my videos in any other languages. For the biggest English-speaking audience in the world, that makes only up 31% of my audience. The next one down is 7.8%, and surprisingly, it's not the United Kingdom. It is Germany. Germany is my second biggest audience, which is absolutely wild. Maybe I've got to be nice to some of the German vehicles I play and not slander them and call Tiger players really bad, even though they kind of are. Next is the United Kingdom at 7.7%, and then Poland. Shouldn't be too surprised by Poland. Poland's got quite a, you know, they're quite passionate about their 20th century history, and we do have a couple polls on the Discord, I believe. And then Canada, another big English-speaking country, and of course Australia in 6th place, which makes sense. I know some very nice Australians on my Discord server as well. They are some of the best people out there. A total of exactly 5,000 views, I believe, in the last 28 days have come from Australia. So thank you, Australia. Very nice of you to see. If we scroll all the way down, we have a total of 0.1% of my viewers from Hong Kong and another 0.1% from Colombia. So thanks, and even 0.2% from Israel and Taiwan. I didn't even know I reached that far into the global audience, but hey, apparently there's some Israeli and Taiwanese fans out there, so thank you all to everybody. But that's just a little bit of fun. I thought I'd tell you about that. It's fun to explore this sort of thing. So, yeah, there you go. Anyways, on with the comments, because I suppose I should actually answer some. There aren't too many, because I think I under-advertised it. We'll start with Shenzhen223. What's your opinion on the Conqueror Mark II? I've heard from multiple people that it's bad, but is it at least usable? Yeah, it's definitely usable. Also, what vehicles would you recommend for the 7.7, 8.0 British lineup? Now, this is a weird one for me, because when I played it, none of the tanks were at this battle rating, except for the Conqueror, which has always been 7.7. Back in my day, if you will, things like, well, actually, when I started playing War Thunder, the Centurion Mark III was added to the game as a 6.3 vehicle, which sounds ridiculously OP. But its AP didn't do as much damage, and I don't think it arrived to the game with Sabo either. Now, the most iconic period, if you will, was when it was at 6.7, which is kind of where it belongs, if you ask me. Maybe it would be a bit OP compared to 6.7s now, I'm not really sure. But all the British tanks have moved around. The Carnarvon is at 7.7, and even though it's just a Centurion with better hull armor. So, yeah. The Carnarvon's the same battle rating as the Conqueror, which makes no sense. The FV4202's gone up. It's just not the same for me, which is why I hardly ever play them. Yeah, a bit of a shame. I'm pretty sure at one point the Centurion Mark III was the same battle rating as the Centurion Mark X, which makes no sense whatsoever. But the Conqueror is a good vehicle still. It's not represented very well compared to its real-life version. In real life, it had a reload of about 10 seconds, which would make it fantastic. In-game, it's like 19, which is stupid. So, nice history, War Thunder. And also the Sabo. Sabo's undergone some weird changes over the years, but at the moment, the British tank Sabo just seems to be just made-up statistics. I can't remember what the Conqueror has. I think it's got close to 500 millimeters of penetration, which is just stupid. It doesn't have that in real life. It's got something like maybe 410-ish. It's 400 and something. It's definitely not 500 millimeters of penetration, which they're just pulling it out of their arse at this point. And at the same time, they nerf Sabo by making it ricochet or splinter more often, which is also stupid. So, yeah, Britain 7.7 is not a great time anymore. I mean, you could still do well. The Centurion is still going to be fine. Their main strength is probably their stabilizers. I know it doesn't sound like much of a thing, but if you play like the Americans, for example, the M60 doesn't get a stabilizer. Nothing has any armor anyway, so it doesn't really matter that the British tanks don't have great armor. Neither do the Leopards, and the M60, even though it has decent armor in real life, just gets penned by everything, so yeah. But the point is, the Conqueror Mark II isn't a bad vehicle. So, there you go, Shenzhen 223. Hope that answers your question. If you want, what vehicles would you recommend for the lineup? Well, just whichever vehicles are at that battle rating would be my answer. The Ender 5092 wants to know, what's your favorite aircraft in War Thunder, and what's your favorite aircraft that's not in War Thunder? I probably answered that one before, but it seems to be always changing. So, their favorite is the MiG-21 SR-13-300, and favorite aircraft not in War Thunder is the Su-47 Firkin. I thought it was called the Bearcat, but maybe I made that up. I'm not sure. Favorite aircraft in War Thunder, at least like to play? Oh god, that's a hard one because it is always changing. It really is. Lately, I don't really know because I've been grinding out the Delta Dart event and I am actually going to get it and expect a video on that one soon. But favorite one to play, I guess I've been enjoying the Thunderjet. I don't know if it'd be my favorite to play though. The P-51H is really fun. I really like that Mustang. For now, at least, we'll say the P-51H because I really don't know. I can't remember what exactly I've been playing lately, so maybe the P-51H. I like the Spitfire 14C, the premium one with the Razorback. That's a nice Spitfire. Do enjoy that. So, yeah, I guess we'll go with that. Favorite aircraft not in War Thunder. Oh, right. Well, it's got to be the Starfire then, surely. The F-94C Starfire. War Thunder, I haven't forgotten. I'm still waiting for my Starfire. It's gonna stay as my YouTube profile icon for as long as it takes to get it in the game. Please, make it happen. The next question is from Sus Thunder I6S, who asks, are you going to Tankfest 2026? If so, what tanks do you want to see? Yes, Well, I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna say yes because I actually do really want to go. I wanted to go this year, but it just didn't work out for me, so I didn't go, which is kind of a shame because I missed out on seeing the Tiger 2, but I won't lie, I know it's controversial, but there are more tanks out there that I find more interesting than the Tiger 2. Yes, it would be it is a one-of-a-kind experience because it's the only running Tiger 2, but yeah, there's just other, if they had a Pershing, I'd be more interested in seeing that, for example. Even though I guess you could argue that's less rare. Been to Tank Fest a few times though. Went the year before, and they had, and the year before that actually, and they had the Super Shermans there, and the 2024. I can't remember what the new funky guest vehicle was. I think it was the fact that the FV4005 was running. They have the M47 Pattern 2, which they just restored, now running. I'm a bit annoyed they made it Italian. I was kind of hoping it would be an American one like they saw last year, because that was a really nice one with the big white stars on it. I was hoping the Tank Museum would do theirs like that, but they've made it Italian. Not that I don't like Italians, but I was kind of just hoping it'd be an American one. Also, my name is on the back of the turret there, because they have all the donors. I was one of the donors, so they should... I haven't actually checked, but my name should be on the back of it, so it'd be nice to see it in person. That would be cool. They never actually asked to like confirm like what name do you want written, so I assume it's just whatever name you put down when you made the donation. We'll have to wait and see. What tanks do you want to see? I don't really know what like overseas running guest vehicles exist. It'd be nice to see an Abrams. I've never actually seen an Abrams myself in real life. I know that sounds crazy, but they just don't really exist in the UK, so... even when I went on my holiday to America earlier this year, I don't think I saw an Abrams anywhere. I saw some other awesome things, but no Abrams. So that could be cool. An M48 pattern, that would be nice. An M46 pattern, that would be nice. I don't really know, though, as for like specific tanks I'm looking for. A T10, like an IS-8, that would be cool, but I don't know where one of those is running outside of Russia, who probably wouldn't loan it to the UK at the moment. So it's hard to think. But yeah, let's see. Gopnik AY. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. We're just gonna call you Gopnik. If you know who you are. He's asking to make a vid to compare World of Tanks and War Thunder. Well, such videos do exist, but I have wanted to do this myself. I have, from my experience, seeing those other videos mostly seem to be War Thunder players comparing it to War Thunder, and they haven't got a lot of experience playing World of Tanks. Like, they've given it a go maybe and they've done some research on it, but they don't have a lot of experience with World of Tanks. So I might have an advantage in that field because I played World of Tanks before coming to War Thunder, and even when I came to War Thunder I didn't stop playing World of Tanks. I stopped playing on the console in 2019, switched to PC, and yeah, on and off. I've been on and off with World of Tanks. Haven't been playing it as consistently, but it's still roughly 11 years of experience and 10 years of War Thunder experience. So I definitely am the one to compare them. And yes, I would like to do a video on that at some point. Yes, hopefully if the World of Tanks videos are successful. So yeah, there'll be videos on World of Tanks 2.0, War Thunder player tries World of Tanks, and World of Tanks versus War Thunder. It's an interesting comparison, and while I do think one is overall better than the other, I think both games have a lot to learn from each other, so it's not just going to be a complete pummeling, one-sided. Maho in War Thunder wants to know, do you have any goals for War Thunder? If so, what are they, and have you completed them? Additionally, what do you plan to do once you've completed them all? Right. No. I'm going to straight up say no, I don't have a goal in War Thunder. Unless making entertaining content for the YouTube channel counts. I've kind of gotten to where I want to be with War Thunder. If they add a new model of F-15, I'm not really going to care. I'm not that invested when it comes to top tier, and even if I was, I'm just really bad at it, so I don't have much of a drive to get the latest top tier vehicle. I would be curious to try out the F-35 because I think it's an overhated plane, and it's probably my favorite modern plane, even if it's a little basic. But yeah, I don't guarantee I'll be any good at it. So getting top tier vehicles is not my goal. I've got a lot of vehicles in game. My goal would just be to wait for War Thunder to add the vehicles, like for example from my tech tree, and then unlock those. Like when the Starfire comes, I will unlock the Starfire. At the moment, the Delta Dagger is arriving, or has arrived, and I'm unlocking it. So those are my goals, if that counts. What do you plan to do once you've completed them all? Well, I've kind of been in that stage for quite a while. The last major goal I had for this game was to grind out the US tech tree, which came about 3 years ago. I wanted to do that. 3-ish years. Basically, I stopped being a British main, and I had this weird obsession with American things, and I kind of still do to some to some extent. Especially those that know me personally, I love me some American planes and American tanks, and so my new mission was to just unlock all of those. And yes, I didn't finish, but I finished at the tiers that I kind of was still interested in. So I kind of got to about 10.0 for air. Any higher and I'm just not good at the game. And I got to about 8.3 for ground. And again, any higher and I'm just not good at the game. So I kind of finished that goal. So what do I plan to do now? Well, just continue making content for the YouTube channel and wait until awesome new planes and tanks arrive in the game. And then I'll unlock those. So it's kind of an ongoing thing. Sneaky wants to know, what's your favorite paper plane? Personally, they like the Convair Model 200/201. That does look funky. That looks a little bit like a Gripen, actually. It's like a Gripen crossed with maybe a Vigan, and except it's American and apparently designed to land on carriers, and is apparently VTOL. Well, obviously it's the design, it's paper plane, but it does look really interesting. Funky thing, I assume from the 70s. Interesting plane. My favorite paper plane, though, gosh. See, it feels a lot less obvious when it comes to than compared to paper tanks. Like, what would be a paper plane that comes to mind? Like, most of the paper planes I'm thinking of did actually exist and were built. Like, all the American ones were usually built. There aren't too many outside of that, you know, that just stayed in the... Well, there's going to be loads out there, but there's not many that spring to mind for me personally. Maybe the XF-103. I don't know if that would be my favorite, but it was the Sentry fighter that they never built, and I kind of was always curious to, see what the finished result was, because the design seemed to vary quite a lot. A lot of them don't really resemble a plane. It looks almost like a missile with wings. So it'd be interesting to see what the final result of that would look like. Favorite cancelled plane would probably be a better answer, and as I'm saying this, I'm just looking at a glider flying around doing circles in the distance. So there you go, you can see its big white wings. It's got quite nice blue sky today, so the sun is reflecting off it quite nicely, actually. Getting sidetracked, I don't really have a favourite paper plane, unless like the ME262 HG3 counts. Maybe the Hookerbine, the TA183, something like that. But all the, maybe cancelled planes would probably be a better question, because there's a lot more, a lot more of those that I can think of. There's literally hundreds. So if you want to know about that, then ask me it again and I'll think of one of those. Finnish Walmart shopping bag wants to know which P51 Mustang is your favorite and why. I assume I didn't answer this last time. I don't think I did. Favorite Mustang variant? Oh gosh. The early ones are kind of quirky. The P51As, or the the ones with the Allison engine. They look pretty nice, pretty. If I had to pick a variant, I'm not that picky. The P51B or C, when they still have the Razorbacks, I think maybe looked a little bit better. That's probably a hot take, but there you go. Hot takes are always interesting. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe a post-war one, like a Korean War one, which aren't too dissimilar from some of the P51Ds. Just an F-51, a Korean War thing. I'm quite interested in the Korean War, so we'll go with a Korean War era Mustang. Sharks wants to know, would you want paper design or fake Japanese heavy tanks in the game? Paper designs, yes. Fake Japanese heavy tanks, maybe. They'd be horrible to control because they're really slow and they have many different gun turrets. It'd just be awkward trying to manage them. I don't really know how you'd balance it as well, because they have crazy good armor, but their guns are probably going to be awful. They're probably just going to be like high explosive slingers. And I think the last thing the game needs is more high explosive slingers. They won't be as obnoxious as all the SPGs, like the M109s and the Panzerhaubitze 2000, which just ruin the game, if you ask me. Well, for one, they ruin the immersion because, you have these, 60s SPGs in the form of the M109, which are ugly as hell, by the way, fighting tanks like the Tiger 1 from World War II. And it just ruins your immersion. And they're annoying because they completely negate every tank by derping high explosive in their face, no matter how well armored they are. So, yeah. Do I want them in the game? I don't know. It would give Japan something unique, I guess. So maybe. I'm not sure how they'd balance it, though. Yeah, sure, it gives them something unique. I don't mind more paper vehicles. I think War Thunder needs more paper vehicles, or at the very least more experimental vehicles. Just something that isn't modern or copied from another nation. Nations, I think that's what makes experimental and prototype vehicles so unique, is because they weren't built and finished, and they never got the chance to get exported to every nation that exists. So, like, a good example would be the R2Y2s, which, you know, granted, the ones in-game were basically Gaijin's homemade designs. They didn't even exist in Japanese blueprints. They were just something War Thunder created. They were based on a real thing, but they kind of changed the design into their own thing, just so Japan would have some unique jets in the game. Fair enough. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense why they made 3 versions of it, but fair enough. It's a unique Japanese plane, we'll take it. But then when they... I know it didn't really properly exist, but removing it and then replacing it with another plane that exists in several other nations already in the form of the F-84, that's a bit of a kick in the balls. Like, you're removing this uniquely Japanese thing and replacing it with something American that's in, like, 5 other tech trees, and it's Thai anyway. It's not even Japanese anyway. So, yeah, that's a bit of a kick in the balls there. Yeah, so more unique stuff. I know I say it quite often, more unique stuff would be great. But you guys know that anyways. And that pretty much wraps up the questions, actually. Like I said, focusing more on other things, like hitting 3,000 subscribers, so thank you, everybody. And talking about the news, the upcoming news for like, the channel. Movie nights, you know, that sort of thing. Live streams, new content, new games to cover, that sort of thing. And yes, hopefully you'll see an F-106 video at the end of this week. I'm not sure how good I'll be in it, but it seems to be a lot better than people were, well, way better than people were expecting it to be. Hopefully this means we can get more planes from that era, or the 50s at least, because that's when the F-106 originated. It gives me hope for the Delta Dagger, though, because if they just give it the same missiles, but obviously it doesn't have a gun, and it's slower, it could be interesting. It could be a fun little 8.7. Unfortunately, the Delta Dart looks like it's going to get moved up because it is, well, compared to the Super Sabre, it's way faster, climbs faster, it probably turns better, it can carry more missiles, and yeah, it carries missiles with higher G overload. So yeah, it's probably going to get moved up to 9.7 or something. Hopefully it doesn't kill the plane for me. Anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing the awesome skins of War Thunder Live for that plane. There better be a good batch. And yeah, that's all we've got for today. So hopefully you all enjoyed this. If you did enjoy the Snazzy Comments episode 5, hit the like button and comment down below. Obviously, you could use your support. Check out other videos on the channel and subscribe for more. Obviously, we just hit 3,000. And hit the bell to stay notified about latest uploads. Again, helps the channel out. And hopefully, next time I make one of these, the channel will be fully monetized, and we can party hard. So, hooray for that. And like I said, hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one.